Cooper Mays had a brother who played at Georgia. That didn't go so well. And now he's at Tennessee. Now he's an All-American. James Pearce is an All-American. Wow. Pretty impressive. What do you make of Tennessee having two players in the trenches as All-Americans? That is pretty impressive. Caleb, what do you think?
I mean, it totally speaks to Josh Heupel and what he's been building. And we've been saying this for a while. Everybody, and this is why there's so much misreporting on Tennessee nationally, is everybody's like, oh, they're a passing offense, they're a finesse offense with their quarterback. And Tennessee is built around the trenches. And nobody is paying attention to that they are built around the trenches in a way that would make, since you saw on the message board right now, say it, that would make Bear Bryant proud, the way they're built in the trenches right now.
Nice line there. Now, I want to ask you, who else will be an All-American by the end of the season? Brought to you by the Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety, great selection, and strict standards to ensure you only receive the best in CBD or Delta products. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com, Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. Use the promo code HOOKED for 10% off. Hooked for 10% off. I usually let you go first. May I go first this time?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, because this is a guy I really like because I just think he's a good guy. Bru McCoy. Tennessee's next All-American will be blank. Bru McCoy. Help us out on the message board. Let's get your thoughts quickly so we can answer this question. What nomination will you make, Caleb Calhoun?
The guy that's going to win the Heisman this year who plays for Tennessee.
Nico.
How do you know I'm talking about Nico?
Just a guess.
I'm obviously talking about Keenan Peely, who's going to be the first linebacker to win a Heisman.
Exactly. Okay,
Nico.
so Tennessee, now, I know you want Nico. We're going to put Nico in there. Now, David says Dylan Samson. I'm going to include him, and I think that is an astute pick because I actually wrote a column today that's on offthehooksports.com taking a look at Tennessee's running backs. And if they don't pan out and they're four-star guys, they should, right? Then they're going to need somebody else eventually because they haven't had a special tailback, although Jalen Wright was a little underrated in my opinion. But Dylan Samson could get more carries this year than by design because I don't know that they have a good second back. If that's the case, he could be in that discussion. I don't know that he's going to get enough, though, to really be a realistic All-American candidate. What say you, Caleb?
Yeah. I have my prediction with Dylan Samson, and people are going to criticize Heupel for this at the end of the year. I'm going to say this. Dylan Samson is going to get the Alvin Kamara treatment in this way. Remember at the end of 2016, and everybody was so mad at Butch Jones for not using Alvin Kamara more because they saw how great he was with the ball in his hands.
Yes.
That's what people are going to say about Dylan Samson. And my response will be what it kind of was with Alvin Kamara in 2016, which is these guys aren't every down backs. They can't do what you see them do every time they touch the ball. You have to have a workhorse back that then allows Kamara Samson to get all the yards. And I mean, that's just consistent with football. I mean, you can go back to USC in 2005. Lindale White was the workhorse back, so Reggie Bush could get all the flash yards. No one questioned why Lindale White would get so many carries. People understood that.
So you're saying Samson needs that guy for true stardom?
Yes, he needs
that
back for him to be the star. Yeah, he can't feature back.
Let me ask you this. Tennessee was one of how many programs to produce multiple first-team All-Americans? You want to guess?
I'm going to say 4.
6. Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. What do those programs have in common? Well, with the exception of Notre Dame, they've all won a championship recently. This is a big deal, but I do want to get into who will be the next All-American. So here's what I got so far. Do you want Dylan Samson as an option?
Well, so we got Bru McCoy, Nico Eberle.
I want Lance Hurd on there. Because here, let's take a look at the All-American list to this point. All right. So here's who has gotten some love. Lance Hurd got 4th team from Athlon. Cooper Mays first team All-American. Walter Camp, which is what we're discussing right here, which I believe is the best award organization personally. Second team All SEC to Athlon and Phil Steele. Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle. Third team All SEC. James Pearce, first team All American. Bye, everybody. Keenan Pili, fourth team All SEC. That's pretty respectful considering he didn't hardly play last year. Jackson Ross, punter, fourth team All SEC. Dylan Samson, third and fourth team All SEC. Athlon, Phil Steele, respectively. Javonte Spraggins, third and fourth Athlon, Steele, respectively. Omari Thomas, fourth team Squirrel White, a guy that we've forgotten about for a while. Third team Athlon and Phil Steele. Does that help me come up with the top four? Because there's a part of me that wants to put Keenan Pili in there, but there's a part of me that think that's just I'm putting Keenan Pili on there based off what I've been told, and I'm not guessing like some other people do on the YouTube. Caleb straightened me out with the Keenan Pili thing. I'm putting Keenan Pili on there as he'll be on an All-American team first, second, or third at the end of the year. That's a prediction. You can mark it down. As long as he's healthy, he'll be on an All-American team. Boom.
So you're going Keenan Pili, Dylan Sampson, Brew McCoy, and Nico Iamaleava. Is that the list?
I'm totally not married to Dylan Sampson because of what you said. So that is up to you.
So let's switch out Dylan Sampson. Let's have a little fun with this, shall we?
Shall we?
Yes, shall we? Why don't we throw in another name that is similar to Brew and another young player who has a freshman by his class, but this time a true freshman. How about Boo Carter?
I'll tell you what. I came up with several other ones. So I think our line in the sand is going to be Brew, Nico, and then Keenan Pili. Then can I go other? Because
yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Because I've come up with, just while you've been talking, I've come up with two more. So that's where we'll go. Now, what would you choose between that grouping? I think it's clearly Brew. If he's healthy, that guy is going to be an All-American. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Nico
I'm choosing the guy I'm picking to win the Heisman. I'm picking the guy I picked to win the Heisman.
Yeah, so you got him. Okay, but you can't say the word Nico. You can't say anything that rhymes with Rico. So who would you
not
pick?
Rico McCoy?
Right. Who would you pick?
So you're basically saying other Brew or Keenan Pili.
Well, no, you don't even have to pick off that list. That list is for fun, and I want our fans to take part in that. We've already got 6 votes, and they're all for Nico, just in a split second.
I'm going to engage with Dave's take on this and have a little fun, which is, what about Elijah Simmons?
If healthy, very possible. What about Lance Hurd?
Extremely possible. If Nico's a Heisman winner, then absolutely very possible. What about Arian Carter as the outside linebacker?
That's who I didn't mention because he was injured last year, but that is one of the top 5 most talented players on Tennessee's team. What are the 5 most talented players? I'm talking about raw talent. It's Nico. It's, by the way, it's clear.
We're talking about these are players that NFL teams would just line up to try to get.
Yeah. Did you see the tweet about James Pearce, by the way, who ran like 22 miles an hour and he was only
I did see that.
There's only one of 25 players to do it, and he's 245 pounds. It's bizarre.
He's freakishly athletic.
Yeah, most talented players, Nico,
Pearce,
Elijah Simmons. You're thinking, what? No, but he really is, as long as he's not hurt. I promise you he is. I'm not making that up. I'm having trouble thinking of fourth.
Oh, I'm right now I'm still going Brew because Brew is such a, NFL teams are all over to try to get Brew, provided if he's healthy.
Right, but the if healthy thing factors into my talent.
Okay. So if that factors in, then I would go. I think you're right. Arian Carter is one, and mine, and I've been pretty high on this, is Mike Matthews. I don't even know if he's going to start this year, but I think he's the most all-around talented receiver on that team.
Great skeet shooter, by the way.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Mike Matthews challenged me, so we're going to see how that works out.
Really? Skeet shooter. All I think of is
he goes. He specifically said, "Can you shoot?" And I said, "Yeah."
Wait, Mike Matthews, the receiver, said that.
Yes, because what are you supposed to say when somebody asks you if you can do something? You automatically say, "Yeah," right? Unless it's something bad. And he said, "Don't lie." And I said, "You caught me on lying."
I mean, I'm
He's Caleb
sorry.
Calhoun.
All I think of is when you say skeet shooter is the Lil Jon song, and I'm sorry, my mind went there.
No, really shooting skeet like you.
I know what it is, but my
Oh,
first introduction to the word is skeet,
yeah.
skeet, 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 skeet.
Mine is the Roger Moore James Bond. Pull. I remember, man, that looks like fun. I haven't done it yet. Who knows? I might do it with Mike Matthews. He's Caleb Calhoun. I'm Dave Hooker. This has been a presentation of Off the Hook Sports. I can just see that going south and me never allowed on campus again. I told you the story when they used to. This is how different baseball and football used to be. They used to hold preseason practice in the outfield of Lindsey Nelson's stadium. So I used to have a beat up pickup truck because I owned a landscaping company, and I was going to drive back to where we did the interviews. Gerald Riggs comes up to me and goes, "Hey, can you give a bunch of us a ride?" And I didn't know a bunch meant literally loading up my truck. And I said, "Gerald, if I wreck this thing and you all get hurt, I'm in a lot of trouble." He goes, "Oh man, you'll never be allowed to come back."